Okay, live. Ivana just confirmed that we are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening or good time of the day, depending where you are. We are happy to have you while people are slowly joining. I'll start because we don't have much time and a lot to say. Not sure enough time for this even. So welcome at She Moves Part 2. We started in Lviv with offline event, but there was actually not much time to share about our travels with Olena in 2024. That's why we decided to organize this live online version where you can quietly ask the questions and we can share some photos and more people can join. So She community is not, of course, just about the beautiful events that we conduct. It's about good purpose. This event or this last two events are dedicated to raising awareness to problem of releasing back people, families, especially women and children from captivity. And we particularly raise money to Victoria, who is on the photo, who was released back. And this reintegration program is very important to conduct, not just for Victoria, but many other families like this. So we collaborate with the fund with Angel on Shoulder for already some time. We raised 37% so far. Thank you for your donations. They are all made with your donations. And of course, we would like to collect the full amount. And here you have the QR code. So if you're wishing to donate, very much welcome. And we have our friends who are supporting us always with this charity initiatives. I'm very grateful to Olena Onufriv, who is a famous designer and author and painter. And she gave us some nice small little things that you can also receive for donations. So please let us know. They are available for those who are in Lviv. Okay, that was important to start with. And let's move to our topic of our evening tonight. Let me introduce my sister in crime in this challenging year, Olena Moroz. Please.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I hope you are sitting comfortable and feeling well. And I'm very happy to meet all of you and to see all of you here. And I would like also to add a little bit that I'm still continue to support the donation. And for those who are living in Lviv and staying in Lviv, I offer my support to be trained to run 5 or 10 kilometers during the Lviv half marathon, what is due on the 4th of May. So if there are anybody who is willing to start running or is afraid to or doesn't know what to do, what is the first step, so I'm ready to be a coach for the 3 months and to help you to run. And we will be thankful for any donation you are willing to donate.
We will have the options and the details of the donations in the chat in the YouTube, so please follow there. It's very generous offer from Olena. I know that the amount of places must be limited because,
Yeah, they are till 20 participants.
Okay, so there are places left. You can also just have a donation and not run, as far as I know. But it's better, of course, you take the amazing chance and start training now. So there is still enough time till marathon.
Yeah, sure. And we are also happy to recollect that 2024. It was special because we both had 5 common half Ironman starts in 5 different countries. And for me, 3 of that countries were very impressive. It's Oman, it's Rwanda, and it's New Zealand. So the first one country we want to start is Oman. And the little story about it is like we didn't want to stop training in winter because usually in winter period you have less opportunities to train because of weather, of temperature, of winds, of snow. But we know from our experience already that if you stop even for 1 month, or usually it happens like for 2 or 3 months in winter, then to regain your condition, to start again in spring, it's becoming very difficult. So I remember it very well that we made the decision that we are not making any break for winter, and that's why we decided to find a location where we can race in February, and it was Oman. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, on the photo you can see it's actually a beautiful shot where one of our, I think, training and race courses actually was passing through this location.
Yes, because Oman usually have two locations for races, Muscat, the capital, and around Muscat where we were staying, and another one they have a race in autumn, Salalah. Yeah, it's more green area, but I think it's more hot when the race has played there.
Talking about hot, we were not lucky with our race, and it was abnormally hot during the race. Even it was way too hot for the local people due to the heavy rains, which are also not common for this area. And therefore, it was too hot and too humid. So this is how actually random cities that we were passing by while cycling look like. Very beautiful and very authentic, and I've never seen this anywhere. So it was
Yeah,
really
and
excellent.
I can add it very international because, like, Oman is not as popular as United Arab Emirates, as Dubai, for example. But when you are there, you feel like you are in a very international place. Each Omani starts learning English from kindergarten, so they all are double language speaking, and you feel really very comfortable in this Arabic country. What impressed me a lot, because, sometimes international cities like Dubai, you feel comfortable there. But in the rest of Emirates, you are not so comfortable because you feel the difference in religion, in nation. But in Oman, it was perfect.
Yeah, so a lot of beautiful memories about this country, like literally few moments about the race itself, and then we'll continue more sharing information about Oman that impressed us the most. So this is the worst moment of the race for me, a moment when we start the first part in the water. And it was a very, very shallow that we actually had to run and not to swim, but like first 100 meters and last 100 meters were running. And the race generally not too big, but of course the beginning always crowded and adrenaline goes up. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, this shallowness helped a lot, yeah, because I'm a low swimmer. So this some distance where I could run and not swim, it saved my time. And the water, as far as I remember, was rather hot.
Yes, was on the border with actually a wetsuit allowed. So here we have a beautiful moment that you desire the most when you start the race is the finish line. It was very hot. It was pretty difficult race, and yeah, but we both made it.
Yes, and
Uh,
the quantity of participants was something like 650, which is irregular because usually in Europe there are 2,000, 2,200 of participants on the start line. So, for example, me, I feel more comfortable on the races where there is a less number of participants.
yeah, they are more comfy, like we will see later with the Rwanda. So it's really much more convenient and easy and relaxed, not relaxed, but not that crowded and safe racing. Okay, we are already, by the way, 10 minutes. So couple of interesting things that we managed to visit. We didn't stay there for the whole month, but literally while preparing for the race and a few days after. Muscat Opera, which was not far from our hotel, amazingly beautiful. It's a new building. We managed to get the tickets for even something I don't remember what, to be honest, Olena.
Something
But
like the dream in a summer night, something like this.
yeah, but it's a beautiful building on a massive square, looks impressive and fully booked. Something to visit in case you go to to Oman, to Muscat. Very beautiful, but hard to get. Needs, I guess, pre-booking. So it was late this evening, looking beautiful, walking there. Another interesting local, very local activity, I would call it, was going to one of the more traditional local restaurants. And here you see how locals are sitting on the floor and drinking a tea. So we were also there with drinking tea with dates, and you see a local family over there. So also unusual for me. I really loved that experience a lot. Olena
Yeah.
made
And
them.
and
Yeah.
and it was like after dinner area. You remember because we had dinner at the table, and then for after dinner, everybody moved to the common area. We were sharing the space and drinking coffee and eating some sweets and finiki yang bude?
Dates.
Bye.
Dates.
Yeah. Also, we wanted to visit Nomani Desert, but there were heavy rains for one day and one night, and we didn't manage to reach the destination because the road were all under the water. Vadi, they call it Vadi. Vadi, it's like a small river, but after the rain, that Vadi became very wide and covered a lot of roads, so the cars could hardly reach the destination. And maybe if and we had only one day for visiting the desert, so unfortunately on that day we were not able to reach our final destination.
Imagine you go to a desert place and the desert is flooded.
Yes.
Very, very unusual. Some ladies on the beach. I made a small cheat. This is a desert only in a very close by country in Emirates, in Dubai, that we also visited with Olena. It's not Oman, but I hope the desert should have looked in Oman the same.
Yeah.
So, and some oryxes from there. So it was a small cheat from another country that we visited, but there was no race there. That's why we don't talk about that much. And just one last point I wanted to add. A lot we can talk, not much time, but something that impressed me a lot is the country where smells play a very important role. So houses, like waiters, everyone has amazing perfumes that you clearly notice. And believe it or not, in Oman Mall, which is like a Dubai mall, the central big mall, 30% of all the shops were dedicated to perfumes. So, but if you think we are buying perfumes, if you buy one bottle, so we are far behind because those guys, they buy in the suitcases, as you see, the full suitcase of perfumes. And this is how they appreciate and value smells. And it's really impressive because I do love these things.
Yeah, and mostly you remember they use that oud, yeah, their local tree. For example, for me, it was like I didn't know it before, but there I have found out that this oud is widely used in perfumery, and like my
Very expensive.
attitude has changed a little bit toward the Arabian perfumes because usually it's too much of them. But when we saw how they treat their perfumes, how they create them, it's a very important for many people, and it's a very important industry for them. And I really like this experience.
Okay, we switched to Venice. That was our second race together, which is Ironman Venice, Jesolo. You think you are taking part somewhere in your race that will be in Venice, but of course not. It can't be because there is no place there. So it is in a close by city, Venice, Jesolo. Here is it's more like recreational beach place here across all the hotels and this beautiful lighthouse. And this is actually whole event took place.
Yeah, and the old Venice is like 20 kilometers far away from our location. In that period, everything was almost empty because there were not a lot of tourists. And I think the season in Jesolo starts with Ironman race only after it. So, like athletes and their families were the first one to open the season in Lido di Jesolo.
So
There
yeah,
were a lot of us there. Yeah, we had a great team of girls and boys, and our coach also was joining us, my coach. And but we also visited Biennale. Yes, it was the period of Biennale in Venice, and all the rest. Venice was crowded, but Lido di Jesolo was empty.
yeah, here are a few shots actually from Venice, Venetian Biennale that was running during that time. So here are my shots. I think it's from the American pavilion. Yeah, that I liked a lot because a lot were all dark and these all contemporary colors. I used to work with that before, and was it Venetian Biennale, I think like 12 years ago last time. So it was a big return and yeah, couple of beautiful pavilions that of course were great to go and see in parallel while we were in the event. We didn't put more about the Venice, Italy. We thought, yeah, perhaps you guys are more familiar with this part of the world. It's much more easy and much more accessible. So,
Yeah,
but if there are questions, we are willing to answer. Otherwise, we will move.
and meanwhile, I can add for those who are for athletes who are listening us and considering this race. Well, I didn't like the road cover. The roads were not very good for cycling, and you remember there were some strange bridges where you have to cross the bridge, special bridge, high up and then down, and it was too tight. For me, it was uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Sure, for common athletes, it's fine. But there were some peculiarities of that race, and I would come back to Oman race again, but I wouldn't come back to Lido di Jesolo again.
I would agree. It's a very, very massive race and not the best road conditions. So, yes, most probably not next time. We agree here. Then, actually, we were supposed to be in Netherlands for the race, but it was sold. So, as a compromise, I suggested why not to go to Luxembourg, which was about the same time in June. And it was my second time in Luxembourg for the race, first time for Olena. And this is also the view how that area where we took part of the race again. This is the road where the course is, and this is the River Rhine, which divides Luxembourg. And on one side, Luxembourg, here Luxembourg, and here is Germany. So very interesting. You race in two countries. You swim in a river, which is not happening a lot, and I cannot say I liked it very much. And it was super, super rainy on that, not rainy, it was rainy before, and it was still raining in the morning. And we even had with Olena some discussions because she was considering not to continue after the swim due to rain conditions, which are for sure dangerous, could be dangerous. And I was actually very, very happy that to find out that she was completing the race, that she after all went on a cycling part, as you see here. Yeah.
Yes, I can add here because who knows me? So I'm the one who is not going to race if it's raining. On my second half Ironman race, I had an accident because it was in Slovenia. It was very hilly bike course, and it started raining, and have fallen down. I was fine, but it's this experience I don't want to go through once again. So sometimes when I see when the weather cast is good is bad and I don't feel like racing. In Luxembourg, it was a very similar situation because the sky was dark and it was raining from the early morning. And I even told my daughter, who was staying in the hotel, that I will take my phone after the swimming part, and that's it. And I will call you and come back to the hotel. I will not race till the end because, well, no, it's not comfortable for me. I don't want to bear that additional risk.
And
Uh,
she was right because
yeah, but well, while I was swimming, no, okay, let's just you and then I will continue. Okay.
okay, sorry, I interrupted you. So Olena was very right while I was saying like you have to cycle very carefully. I was not cycling very carefully and I slipped down the road pretty badly. Perhaps, yeah, the photo is not showing the everything. I really crashed on the road, but decided to still go and stand up and finish the race because I was afraid that my son, my husband, will be very much worried where I am. So I thought, okay, I have to get to the finish line, so at least they are not worried. So my lesson learned, yeah, to be more careful in those rainy conditions. It was my first bicycle accident.
But while I was swimming, so the rain stopped a little bit. It became easier. So I decided to continue cycling. You saw on the picture with me that I was not wearing glasses because it's very difficult when you have to clean your glasses with your head with your hand all the time when it's raining. So it's also not comfortable for me. But somehow I made an agreement with myself, and because usually I'm the one who can agree about each kilometer or like each 10 kilometers on cycling. There was a question about what is the most challenging. Sometimes there are races when I really agree with myself about the next kilometer, then about the next one and the next one. And that is the way I am able to finish, to come to the end. So, and in this race, I'm very thankful to myself and also to Valentina because this race, when I finished it, then I got an opportunity to obtain slot to World Championship in New Zealand. So if I do not insist on continuing, I wouldn't be able to visit New Zealand and to participate in the World Championship. But from the first step of the race, it looked like that I will not continue anyway. But you know, an hour of swimming has changed everything, and I have what I have, and I'm very happy and very proud of myself that I made that decision, pushed my limits, and then visited New Zealand.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you that it all worked. The plan that initially was before kind of put as a possibility, it did work. For me was also from one of the questions, what was challenging. This was the most challenging race since it ended up with a bicycle crash that prevented me from, of course, swim. I was really sick and I couldn't swim for 21 days, what was not according the plan because we had the lineup of all other events coming up. So a little bit about Luxembourg. Here you see Addis, the grapes. Yeah, I think this is the vineyards because this is a country that produces a lot of good local wine, which I was not able to taste since I don't take any alcohol. I don't know how good it was. Perhaps it was good.
I do take, but not too much also. But I remember that the transition zone in Luxembourg, for me, it's like I had 10 races already, I think, or 11. It's the most beautiful transition zone where our bikes were staying on the racks and all surrounded by beautiful vineyards.
Yeah. We had the chance to visit together the Luxembourg city because, of course, the race were all events happening usually not in the big city, so it was close by a smaller village city. And here is the Luxembourg city with a beautiful these arches and walls that are their signature trademarks. So we walked through, but yeah, we didn't spend much time in this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to next.
Yeah.
Good, let's go. And now we get Rwanda. Rwanda popped up on the radar when I was last time in Finland and Lahti in the championship, and there was a big promotion of this event, and I was like looking at that like with a big like, can you really race there? So what is all there happening? Is it safe there? And this is how the exploration started. Basically, Olena is, as I said, the sister in crime. And I said, "Will you go to Rwanda?" She said, "Like, yeah, why not?"
Yeah, I told this because we enjoy Africa a lot. We've been on two beautiful trips to Kenya and to Namibia before in 2019, Namibia, and 2021 it was Kenya, all around those two countries. And so Valentina didn't have to convince me a lot because Africa is calling, is always calling back. And I have to tell you, Valentina, that I know there are perfect ultra races, but mixed. You can either run or walk for 6 days or for 2 days. It's 2 days, it's like 110 kilometers, and in Rwanda as well. So we have an option for something when we are done with the full distance of Ironman.
Okay, deal. So Rwanda was really exceptional, and from all the races I participated so far, I have to say, I don't have a big career. I will be just 4 years soon in triathlon. I put this as a #1 race in my list because it's amazingly beautiful country, and you will see later, and it's intimate, I would say, race because there are not many participants, what makes it also safe and nice, and you learn almost every participant, you become friends after a couple of days. So, and of course, the culture and the food and the nature are amazing.
Yes, and they are still a real one, not very spoiled with civilization. But what we have found out there that Rwanda is going to be a sport hub for all Africa. And they develop sport very much in sport facilities and are very eager to welcome different sport events in Rwanda. And that is impressive because, you know, it's not easy to organize everything, to arrange everything, to make it safe. And it's really impressive that they all do this.
Because compared to the neighbors, Uganda or Tanzania, right, where the level, yeah, of security, of organization, of infrastructure are totally different. So Rwanda is like this unique place among this part, at least, of the continent for, I mean, conducting this international type of events, which have high standards. Yeah, that was a very beautiful race, and of course, the beautiful memory I have from there is though I thought it's not going to work, everything is wrong, and I don't do what I'm supposed to do. At the end, big surprise was that I found out I still got a number two place in my age group. And yeah, of course, it's a big celebration and great to have these memories on top of the other ones. You want to add about the race?
I would definitely come back to Rwanda or once again to the same race. So, not to Luxembourg because we didn't mention it. Yes, we said yes to Oman. I would say no to Luxembourg and no to Lido di Jesolo, but definitely yes to Rwanda.
Yes. After the race and everything, we can have a separate meeting about almost each race because there are a lot of nice details. So if you're willing, we can organize later, but we go just quickly through main things that impressed us. And Olena had this beautiful, yeah, story.
Yes, also I finished with a special photo book from Rwanda. Now me and my daughter, we are working on the second edition of it. We want to improve it a lot because, and the name of this book is Queens of Rwanda because really the young ladies and the ladies, they are wearing some something on their heads and they really look like a queens with crowns. And I was brave enough to make an agreement with locals, as you see it on the photo, and they took me to the tour of the city for 1 hour. I've been afraid in the beginning, so I asked our driver, then I asked the security in the hotel whether it's safe. Also, I was sending a location via WhatsApp to my daughter each 15 minutes so she can follow me and or she can find me and or ask somebody to find me in case I disappear. But it was worth doing it. Rwanda is safe. The police is working and they want to be safe country and to attract tourists and to attract investors and they were very hospital. They were telling a lot to how they live, what they eat, what they grow, how they spend their time. They are not drinking. They are drinking only beer, and they have some banana beer. I haven't tasted it, but they told me a lot that they are drinking mostly banana beer. Childrens are also speaking English. So with the childrens you see on the photo, we can like they're 4 or 5. You can easily speak to them about their name, their age, what are they doing, how they are living. That is also a very big advantage of the country. And late and after this, we moved to different national parks. There are 3 of them, and also we have some pics from them.
Yeah, these are photos while we are moving in between the national parks, moving by car. And what amazes, and there are also tons of photos of people walking across the roads and carrying different things for living, either water or fruit or some construction material. And from like the whole family walking, as you see, bigger children, smaller children, and they do it so gracefully and they do it with such a ease, sometimes even talking over the phone while carrying something heavy, that yeah, it just amazes how they can do that and how straight they can walk, how beautiful posture they have. And these are even, okay, they carry big things, but they were even much bigger ones. Some men were carrying some construction materials, they were even longer. So I don't know how is it possible.
Yeah, and they make their children to help them from the early childhood, and mostly children collect stones. I'm not sure what are they for, but also children collect some wooden sticks. So sticks are used to hit their houses. Also, children, you remember, they are responsible for taking water. They were using yellow cans and
Yeah, we
usually
don't.
the water was brought to the village, so the children were staying in the line and taking that water.
So yeah, apart from, of course, bigger cities, the country side is pretty simple. So there is no, I think, running water supply. Therefore, they bring it by hands, and like with this yellow one, but full, and some bigger ones, exactly, water. And because what I wanted to say, the country is called the country of thousand hills. So everything is always up and down. There is rarely a straight piece of land. That's why it's pretty difficult, not just even walk, but carry things up and down constantly. And these people are just built for that. And they use the bicycles there. So we didn't add photos here. There were many, many cyclers. It's used as a transport, which is cheaper than a car. And these amazing cyclers also were driving the hills that I couldn't imagine you can even do on our bikes. So they are very strong people.
Yeah, and they have good roads. I don't remember already the story how these good roads appeared. Yeah, I remember that the Chinese were building. They told us that the Chinese were building these roads, and that is also a very big advantage of Rwanda because you know, to make cycling races, so the quality of the road should be very, very, very high. And that is also the advantage because the connection between cities is good, so the infrastructure is better than in different countries in Africa. But as it was me who was observing the town, so the far from road, the worst situation is in the village. So the poor area they're happening if they are far from the road.
Yeah, so you see, this is the car that normally you travel for safari between the parks and in the parks and offside the roads. So you see here there is no road already. So there are special equipped cars, obviously, that can handle all the obstacles and all the hills so that we could travel between the national parks. So here you see, I think this was a Nyungwe forest where we've been for hours not chasing, but trying to see chimpanzees. It was
Yeah.
really, really difficult. And these are the local people that are helping because they know these are the guides where to go, and they have special trackers in the jungle to help you to spot the animal. And also in the same way, when we are taking the guides, they can carry a backpack if you give them, but this is the way to support local families as well. And this is a very smart way how the government changed the poaching, because in older days, these were the people that were poaching for these beautiful animals, but the government changed the things in a way that they became the protectors
Mhm.
of the same area. So this is very well, nicely established system compared to also neighboring countries where this is not working very well yet. So these are our guys for this Nyungwe Forest Park. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and we've been speaking with a lot of young Rwandese or Rwandians, and they want to be workers in national parks. So it's very also they are proud.
Prestigious job,
Yes,
yeah.
prestigious job to be a guide in the park and to take care about monkey family, about gorilla families, chimps families, golden monkey families. So it's very prestigious and it's nice. They want to study for this and then they see their future in protecting the nature.
So yeah, we're lucky. Almost all these animals are pretty closely accessible. Gorillas, I would say, easier because they are not moving as fast as chimpanzees as we had to do it. So we were perhaps not visible on the photo, but actually the family of gorillas was literally a few meters away from us, and we could quietly observe without trying to interfere much into their daily life. They were resting under the bushes during the lunchtime. They had, I think, kind of siesta. So beautiful
And
mountain gorillas.
it was like one alpha male, yeah, and there was like three females and a lot of kids there. Yeah, and they were resting, sitting, resting. But you remember the moment when we saw them all, and then suddenly from the bushes, several meters away, another one gorilla came, then another one, and it was a bit surprising because we didn't hear them from the beginning, and the guides haven't warned us about that they can come, that it's not the whole family in front of us. And it was, yeah, but for me it was a bit scary when they were approaching, because they're approaching really close to you, and and you have, the human have to go away to make to free the road for them, because gorilla doesn't like to walk around you, so you have to step aside, and because gorilla wants to go straight ahead.
Yeah. Apart from unique gorillas, which are only in a few countries in the world. That's why we, of course, went to see them. They have national parks with animals that are represented as well in other African countries, beautiful ones. So I think this is Akagera National Park, where we could see baboons. Here you see the hippos family. We could spot lions. We could spot families of giraffe. So really, I was repeating, beautiful place where animals, compared to Tanzania, for example, they are all year around, because these animals don't migrate in the season. So they have access to food and water all year around. That's why they stay in place. That's why you can just go there and see them.
Also, we had the final cruise on the lake. We haven't had the picture here, but you remember it was like we haven't even planned it. It was offered by our guide, but it appeared to be a very, very impressive cruise. And we saw an elephant eating, standing in the water and eating. And we saw a lot of different beautiful birds. And we also saw crocodiles. Before, I have never seen them in real nature. Like I saw in crocodile farms in Malaysia, but in the real nature, I've seen them for the first time.
Yeah, a lot of photo material made, like gigabytes. I hope also I will do something, perhaps a book as well. But yes, if we say, do we come back, me personally, to come back to Rwanda, I would say 3+ yes, from all the perspectives. It's even the same time zone. So what is also a big plus if you don't like changing time zones.
Yeah, me too, for many reasons. For racing, for traveling, for visiting national parks, and even for observing all that queens of Rwanda.
Cool. And yeah, we will be moving now to our last race in end of the year in December in 2024, where me and Olena visited World Championship in Taupo, and yeah, impressive country that I've been dreaming personally to visit for at least the last 10 years, because I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings. And another dream was to come there with more friends or more people that I know. And here you see, perhaps it's even not all, but at that time that collected, because I believe there were a little bit more of Ukrainians, the team from Ukraine, a lot, a couple of people from Lviv, but and this is a parade of nations that happens during the championships, a few days before the race, where each country that has athletes present has to march one by one and represent the flag and the country over there. So it's a beautiful ceremony for each championship.
Yeah, the organization was also very good, interesting, inspiring. Though the Taupo area, Taupo is the lake, that coastal areas of New Zealand are more developed. Inside the country areas are, no, I would say that less interesting, but also nice because in Taupo Lake there are some Maori sketches, carving. They call it carvings, rock carvings, like pictures on the rocks. Um, and but the visa was difficult, so for those who are interested or thinking about visiting New Zealand, so for me and for the rest of our team, visa was not as easy as it as I thought from the beginning, having like United States visa and UK long-term visa. So I thought there won't be any questions, but I had to resend additional documents twice after initial sending the documents.
So yeah, if you plan one day, and the advice is please plan one day. It's absolutely worth visiting. Perhaps take more time for visa for those who need visa. Of course, there are nationalities that don't need visa, but it is very much time consuming. So the race itself was really beautiful in the lake, in the sacred lake Taupo, which Maori value and appreciate a lot as a sacred lake. It's extremely clean. Racing on the hills, as you see here, also extremely everything beautiful. And running, also a bit hilly, and it was a bit hot, but generally nicely organized, since this location has a good experience of organizing for 25 years the races of Ironman. So people really, locals know how to make it very comfortable for everyone.
Yeah, and New Zealand was the second, if to speak about races, was the second country after Hawaii. With the history of Ironman, that Ironman was started and created and was born in Hawaii, and the second already like international race took place in New Zealand. So I didn't know it before, and it was interesting for me to read about it. That's why they still keep racing in New Zealand, and sometimes it hosts the World Championship. But New Zealand is beautiful with sceneries, with nature. Not all. The oldest building in New Zealand is dated 1860 only, and mostly Maoris came there. They are Hawaiki. They were called. Yeah, they came there in the 13th century, just in the 13th century, and then Europeans came in the 17th, 18th centuries.
So yes, New Zealand belongs to Polynesia, together with, I think, Hawaii also belongs to this area. So they have pretty similar cultures, similarities in cultures. And there was not that much time to explore everything. I would say our family was managed to see something from only one of the islands because there are two big islands. So it's a small fracture of what we could cover. And of course, yeah, Hobbiton was on the list.
Yes, and I felt there like in the United States, because I can say that if you are in New Zealand, everything is slower, everything is more calm. But here in Hobbiton, everything is arranged as it usually happens in the United States. A lot of like lines, queues, everybody rules, everybody says, oh, you have to wait here, and now you have to wait here. And they had like that, like buses each 10 minutes, I think, because there is one area where there is a cafe where there is a Hobbiton reception, and then you take a short bus a trip to the area with these beautiful houses. But the tour was really worth visiting, was impressive. even for those who are not really appreciate. Well, I'm not an admirer of Lord of Rings because I was brought on Star Wars, so I enjoy Star Wars, and Lord of Rings is like regular film for me, but the location is worth visiting and it has interesting history.
Meanwhile, I explored new activity for me that since there was a vacation from training was not nothing to do, but it was a feeling that something physical to be done. And I tried first time surfing, since this is also together with Hawaii. This is a beautiful and perfect country for surfing with the perfect waves on the beaches. So you see on the right how beautiful volcanic beach with the black sand looks like, one of those um, signature close to Auckland, like 40 minutes from capital Piha Beach. A beautiful place for surfing. I really, really loved it. Here is one of those moments when I was standing on board, because majority of time you lay in the water or under the waves somewhere. But it really looks beautiful. I was a lot impressed by the nature and the plants that are there. I'm a big fan of course, looking and learning and seeing the plants and recognizing the plants. There were so many I've never seen, I've never heard. For example, like this one on the left is a Christmas tree. It blossoms around Christmas, and we were there exactly around Christmas. Amazingly beautiful. Or this, perhaps not that beautiful bush called Manuka, and this is the one that famous Manuka honey is made of by bees. So very, very strong and healing honey that I brought. Or, for example, amazing. I was scared because the whole beach close to Auckland, the Piha beach where I surfed was covered with this blue jellyfish. There were really many of them, and from what I remembered and studied, it came to me across. I had a feeling that I've seen it somewhere, and of course I've seen it because it's one of the most poisonous jellyfishes in the world, Portuguese man of war. But somehow, I don't know how, the coach told, like, don't worry about that. So I don't know. I trusted him and I continued the training. But yes, beautiful animals are also there. The landscapes are beyond understanding. Some places that you see and that is like from a fairy tale. It a lot reminded me some places as if you are in Ukraine, but Ukraine mixed with some exotic places, like all the different continents mixed in one, and comes like this fairy tale. So it's a beautiful Blue Springs spot here. Another famous place that we visited was, they call it, it's a glowworm cave. These spots are created, these lights are created by the worms that can glow in the darkness, and you see the slime falling down. Actually, it's a slime from the worm to attract the bugs. But it creates a beautiful all feeling, especially in the cave, which is covered with water. It's a Baitomo cave, and where sacred, where the remainings of ancestors of Maori, the sacred ones, are buried. So that's why it's not allowed to make any photos there. So I took it from internet to respect their request. Also, what was unusual, perhaps Yolanda can share, these are traditional facial tattoos.
Yeah, I would like to add something about the cave because this Waitoma cave is the most popular one. And for example, me and my daughter, we've been visiting another one in another area because there are a lot of caves like this in New Zealand. But this one is the biggest. And the cave we visited, smaller and it's not, well, I am not sure I will be able to make a picture like this. There were so many glowworms. It was called Waipo Cave. It is in the north of the island, but also very nice, very interesting, very impressive. Because it's a smaller one. Even the road to this cave was also very interesting. And Maori, we haven't visited Maori village. I don't know. I do not remember the reason why. Maybe there was some reason, so it was not our number one choice. But we've been visiting an art gallery in Auckland, and there was one hall dedicated to Maori portraits. There is, I don't remember now already, but there is one artist of Czech Austrian origin who spent a lot of time in New Zealand in the beginning of the 20th century, and there were a lot of beautiful his works of Maori chiefs. Of males and females also in that gallery. You can also find his works and his story in Wikipedia. So if anybody wants, I can share it later.
So I was lucky to visit Maori village. I really wanted to, and I wish I had really more time to do that. Beautiful culture, very particular culture, like nothing like ours if you read the history. So they are totally, totally different. And they have these scary tattoos on them, not just men, but also women. What is like also very unusual. We saw them even in Taupo on the beach. I don't know if you saw it. It really draws the attention. And this guy on the photo, for example, yeah, he's showing his tongue. He doesn't look very pleasant. This is all part of the, as they call, a welcoming ceremony. So when you come to visit as a visitor with a group or on your own, so they perform a welcoming ceremony, which is really looking scary. So this is very much done on purpose. So to scare off the enemy if you came with war to them. So beautiful culture. And I was lucky to visit also some other places, famous ones. One was the hot water beach. The whole country islands are of volcanic ones, and there are many geysers and thermal waters still there, and some of them come close to the beach. So at the low tide time, you can just dig your hole with a shovel and sit in the kind of self-made spa. So it's interesting experience, super crowded there. You don't see on the photo like many people, everyone with the shovel digging his own hole. Or here on the right, like as well, many thermal spas and spas within the hotels that offer nice relaxing thermal water experience. So it's also like here. So for sure visit when you are there, and you cannot miss it because it's just all over.
And we, with my daughter, we have found another location of Hundertwasser. It's like Gaudi in Spain. So there is there was Hundertwasser in Austria. And he has also beautiful buildings, fantastic buildings. And we found it when we were planning our visit. We found this location in New Zealand, in the area what was accessible, what was around our route. So we went to visit this, and there is a Maori museum inside the building.
I will ask if our visitors or our viewers have questions, they can still ask in the chat because we are close to the end. There's just a few more slides. We will finish in a few minutes. We did have some questions that you submitted earlier. We can answer some of those, but you are very welcome to drop your questions in the chat meanwhile. Yeah.
It's also we also our pictures. On the left, you see a tent because when we moved to the coast for surfing, so my daughter found a location, an eco location, and we were sleeping in the tent. And it was also a very nice, very interesting experience. Convenient one. So all the facility we had, there were like 3 tents and 3 small houses, and we shared the kitchen, we shared the shower, we shared the toilet room. But it nice experience. And in the night, the sounds of birds and the sounds of insects, and it was safe, it wasn't dangerous, but it was fantastic. Listening to all the nature in the night under the sky and the stars. And also we also like taking photos of different birds walking around because in the surfing area where we were, very close, there was a national park, especially for birds.
I'll come back there.
Yeah, and some pics from Auckland, also a lovely city with a lot of Auckland also consists of the mainland and different small islands. The one is Waiheke Island. The next picture there is about visiting, not that one, maybe the next. This one, there is a lot of wineries. You know that New Zealand is very popular for wines. Everybody knows Marlborough Valley and Marlborough Sun wine brand, but there are also another beautiful wineries, smaller one, and 4% of New Zealand wines is produced on that Waiheke Island, which is like an 40 minutes ferry ride from Auckland.
We visited with Olena only North Island. There was even no time to go to the South Island, which is also beautiful. And I wanted to finish this conversation with, of course, everyone studied at school a kiwi bird, but of course nobody has seen it almost unless those who visited the place or live in that area or Australia. I had a chance to see them. This can almost never happen because these are birds that live at night. These are, I think, hatched chicks only because the actual bird is much bigger. And you see how big actually the egg of kiwi is compared to ostrich even. Do you see how big an ostrich is times bigger animal? So these are very unique birds. Perhaps they don't look that pretty, but they are not like any other bird, of course, in the world. And 20% of their mass is egg, and they carry it, I don't know, also for like 90 days. It's like very long. So these birds, the actual big animals, adult animals, they are like between a chicken and turkey, a good turkey. So it changed my perception of how the bird is.
For me, it was also something very impressive. I don't remember them from school. And they are wingless, but they are not flying. And their backs, yeah, or noses looks like hearts, but they more use them like zones. But there is a sad part of story about kiwi bats because they cannot protect themselves. And when dogs, cats, rats came to the island, their population became very, very, very small. And now New Zealanders have special hatcheries, kiwi hatcheries, where they try to protect the bats. And to make the population grow again.
So I think that would be it. We are 5 minutes past 7. We've got some questions we can still answer, few, and we will thank you for staying with us tonight. So Natalia Kopitz is asking, please share if you had some unexpected challenges in such exotic countries.
I don't think so. For me, challenge is always the weather conditions. But because of the country risks, no. Fine, we haven't gone through any country risks yet, and I hope we will not.
I had one that I can share. It was driving in New Zealand. Because you are driving not on the right side of the road, but on the left side of the road. So taking a car from a rental company from the airport and leaving the airport and crossing Auckland City for the first half an hour was a disaster. So it was a real disaster for me. So that was a challenge. So by the time we had to leave the country, finally I was used to drive on the other side of the road, and then we had to leave. But that was it. We had some questions earlier. If I don't know if that takes quite a lot time to answer, unless you can summarize it more. What are the preparations for triathlon in terms of food, training, frequency, and mental preparation? Oh, that's a topic for the whole meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I may start like no mental preparations for me because I like everything connected with these races. Also, I like just simple running and trail running, which is totally different from marathon running on the road. So no mental preparations for me. I just do what I like and what inspires me and motivates me, and I even do it without races. So I don't have to have a slot and to know that next month I have that race. I still can train without any registration to any following races. Food preparation, yeah, this I had to change my eating habits, and during the race you have to eat and to drink, but it's also a long term because there is a lot of different brands, nutrition brands, a lot of different tactics or strategies, I would say, and different coaches have different recommendations. There are some common moments, but then it's tailored to each athlete, I would say.
Individually, yeah. One more question just came from Vasil. Which special vaccination or medical pills required? I would say this is either New Zealand or Rwanda relates to. You can answer.
I I think we didn't need anything, but well, me and my kids, we have from our previous trips to Africa, we have yellow fever vaccination, anti-yellow fever vaccination. And what I know that about anti-malaria, so you have to buy medications already in the country, and you have to take them only in case of some symptoms. There is no
Need, yeah.
yeah, there is no need to take them before.
Okay, so one question we got earlier, you can answer as well. What inspires you to keep pushing your limits?
It's inside me. I don't have any other answer. Like it's inside me. You know, sometimes you look at the person and you see fire in his or her eyes. And I think that the same is with me and with you, Valentina. It's something what is inside. So to just like it, I feel happy. Yes, sometimes I can be afraid and I feel nervous, but in general, I feel very happy and I feel freedom. Maybe that is the answer. When I'm racing, when I'm running, when I'm swimming, the swimming is the worst part of the triathlon, but I feel that freedom.
Yeah, I feel very similar. I feel very similar, and I don't know, there is just something inside that is pushing me forward, and I don't need anyone to check me if I've done or not. It's just something I know should be there. And there was one question: if there was an opportunity to skip one of the legs of the triathlon, what that would be? Which part that would be?
Swimming.
Yeah, we have mutual agreement, same. So swimming is the part that we would cancel if there was a chance.
I
So,
think for a lot of it's the shortest one part, and I think the easiest one for many athletes. But yeah, for me, it's if I could skip it, I would skip it.
okay, so we are 10 past 7. Let's summarize and say goodbye till next time. So from all the races in 2025, the ones that we plan to return one day and highly recommended are like Oman, yeah,
Yes, for sure. Rwanda and no, maybe not New Zealand once again for race, but for visiting another island, South Island, maybe yes. But in combination with Australia, because only for New Zealand it's too far away.
yeah, it's a very long, long, long travel. And again, going through the visa process,
Yeah.
it's a disaster. Okay, thank you all so much for spending this evening with us. We really hope it brought some joy, some inspiration, and some practical tips. See your follow-up comments. The recording will be available as well on the channel. So see you next time, till next event. And if
And
you would
maybe
like, yeah, hear
maybe
something
on
more
next race, so you're welcome to
next
join
day.
us for racing.
So if you're interested in particular topic, we are willing to share more about something more focused. And still, please use a chance to join Olena's squad for the marathon in Lviv, as she's willing to coach you for the next 3 months. You still have a lot of time to become a super athlete.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
it is good to have a very, very nice start. And then if you can run 10, so you can run a marathon easily.
You can do everything if you really decide so. So thank you so much. Have a good evening and see you next time. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye-bye. Зараз чекай, чекай, тихо ж. То ми вже самі.
I don't know, but I